Hi, Astro friends. Melanie here on the 14th of May 2025, and hopefully, third time lucky. I was trying to record this already, and there were experiences. So I hope this time it's really good flow, and let's go. So, which is the reason why I'm mentioning it is also because that is actually very symbolic for what's been going on with the Scorpio Taurus full moon with the Wesak Moon that we just had 2 days ago. Scorpio and Taurus, two fixed signs, and with the Scorpio moon, things can get sticky and we can get stuck in a certain pain point. We can get triggered and have a hard time coming out of that place because it sits deep and we are pulled into basically a rabbit hole into our own underworld. And the idea would be to really process through that, not stop halfway, not numb it, not shove it down again, but actually get through it and come out on the other side. And that is also astrologically then Sagittarius after Scorpio. The moon has been now in Sagittarius since yesterday, and maybe you noticed a shift after the full moon where things were more condensed, more that fixed energy. And so if it gets choppy again, you have to just forgive me and connect the dots. I have the sense it might happen again here for some reason to remind us again that not to get stuck, not to be. It's a bit of a weird experience. I never had that before, but bear with me. Anyway, the Scorpio Taurus full moon now being processed, hopefully, and released, and hopefully a lot has come from this process that can now be aired, so to say, and come out into the open. Sagittarius is all about freedom also and movement. And so, how can we free up what has been stuck and be happier that way as well? That is about happiness, openness, freedom, truth, all of that. Bring it out, bring it on with Sagittarius. Today, the moon is still in Sagittarius and not much going on aspect wise. There was only there were two things. The moon was making a trine, a fire trine, so a really friendly aspect between the moon and Mars, although, like both in fire, right? It is very energetic, and maybe you had a bit of hard time sleeping with that as well. That was going on at 1:28 a.m. Would have noticed it yesterday too. So this is a good energy to channel into passionate, creative projects, right? With Mars in Leo and the Moon in Sagittarius, in anything where that actually is also making us happier, that is inspiring, that is motivating, and so it brings us to a brighter place, and the world is shining more. So even if the weather is gray as it is at this point, cloud covered. Also, that is also very Scorpio, right? We also had the full moon when the full moon was exact that evening from Monday to Tuesday, or a Sunday to Monday, actually already into the full moon. There was cloud cover here on the west coast, so the moon was hiding, very symbolic, right? Hiding behind the cloud cover. What's going on? We can't see her, but we can feel the energy. So hope this full moon, especially with the support of the Buddha, which the full moon in May is dedicated to, as in Wesak Moon, has really helped us not only process, also to hold space for everything that is going on in your world, in the world, and that way not getting so attached, not getting so involved, but not detaching either, right? Not just being aloof and ignoring it all and being in a denial or something, but not getting caught. That's what I mean by not getting attached, right? And that can be caught emotionally, especially in some dark emotions with the moon in Scorpio, or caught in the Taurian field of the sun. It's like, oh, it's so beautiful now, and we just want to hold it. We don't want May to ever go away. It's the most beautiful month, but then nevertheless, the Buddhist teachings say everything is impermanent. Nothing lasts, neither the good nor the bad last. It's always deeper. The truth is that there's always flow, impermanence, and change. So this is also very apropos Saturn in Pisces, right? Saturn now in Pisces, the third year already since 2023 was the first, 24, 25. Now it's transition year, and there'll be more about Saturn actually making a transition next week in the video, because Saturn will enter Aries for the first time in like 29 years and do a trial run this year, only so to say from the May 24th until September 1st, and then fully go into Aries next Valentine's, the 14th of February, in 9 months exactly. So yeah, now we're in the last phase of Saturn in Pisces. That is the very end of Pisces, which is double Pisces also. So where everything comes together, it's really the end of a cycle. Also teaching us that we're at the end of the Pisces age cycle. I refer to that a lot in my blog, in my writings, and we're really in a transition, not just into a new cycle of 29 years, but into a bigger cycle, as we know, right? So we're moving out of Pisces age into the Aquarius age. The ages go backwards in the zodiac, but that doesn't mean backwards in history. This is just a precession of equinoxes, and yet there is a progress. There's definitely a movement, an evolutionary movement going on, and we're coming out of the Pisces age. The gist of that is so much collectivism, so much suffering, so much sacrifice, and often tied into religions. So I'm not dissing religion, I'm not dissing spirituality whatsoever. That is also what astrology is about. But it's not a religion, right? So it's not a cult, it's not a dogma in that regard. It's actually also a science. So in that sense, astrology is actually that interface of Pisces and Aquarius, right? So we're moving more into a era, you could say, of science, but the shadow of that being that science is dominating, is actually too powerful, which we can see already also in all sorts of scientific experiments and scientific authority that we're having out there, right? Science is now in a way a new a new religion has become that as well. But that is phenomenon of this transition. And the truth is that with the Aquarius age wants to bring more freedom, freedom to us all, out of the collectivism into more also personal sovereignty, and also coming together as humanity, coming out from under the thumb of the authority that often colluded with religion and all these things, right? The old empire expires, I say, right? And we, the people, this is the age, will be the age of humanity. What does that mean for you? So Saturn, as I said, Saturn makes a move, right? That's going to happen next week for a end of spring and early mid summer until September 1st. So we're already seeing the first symptoms of that, especially since Saturn will also join Neptune, which is already in Aries. I call that motto a wave of renewal. More about that, of course, also if you want to explore that in a group setting and with your own charts. We do a parlor for that on the 27th, the day after the Gemini new moon, 27th of May. Stay tuned for that and hit me up if you're interested, and I'll send you more info. So also this week, we're in this outflow of the Scorpio Taurus Wesak Moon. Moon now in Sagittarius, as I said, today, still tomorrow until noonish, until until 12:58 p.m. Then the moon goes into Capricorn, which is more grounded again. So we have a really grounded combination of the moon in Capricorn, the sun in Taurus, and then also Mercury is now in Capricorn. But, Mercury is in Taurus. But we have on the 17th the big event of this week, which will be the alignment, the yearly alignment of the Sun and Uranus. So while the Scorpio full moon has been ruled by Pluto and even had a T-square with Pluto, YT square, so it really has gone deep and to process things. Uranus, on the other hand, is more liberating, not just more, it is. It's liberating, it's coming out, it's setting something free, it's breakthroughs, it's something that actually is a paradigm shift that can be a surprise, can be also a shock, right? Something that happens and all of a sudden you see the light, you see things in a different way. Uranus is the awakener, or also brings wake up calls. Right? Now you once you see it, once you're there, you can't unsee it, right? And Uranus comes typically as a surprise. And so stay tuned and tuned, especially if your birthday is actually this week, then you have Uranus on your sun, not just this week, but you've had this going on in the last 2 years or so. It could also have brought separation, or, Uranus is in the birth process, the last phase, which is the cutting of the umbilical cord. So there is independence. There's a whole new paradigm, a whole new way of being for that newborn, right? That has been in the womb, has been in the birth process, and now it's out. Life really begins, right? And so what is exciting, new, and what sets us free? And especially from the Taurus perspective, what helps us embody freedom, right? So freedom that comes, that's really a very visceral, very felt sense with all our senses, right? Where do we really feel free? What kind of environment could that be? What kind of state of mind, of emotions could that be in the face of all the stuff that's going on? So maybe simply being in nature, which is very Taurian, right? And so that's the big effect this week. Of course, it's building up, and the Sun Uranus theme is going on, is in effect, you could say all month of May, but culminating on Saturday. Then we have on Sunday, when the moon will have also entered Aquarius, which is interesting because that is ruled by Uranus. So that Sunday is also still very much has this Sun, Uranus, moon in Aquarius energy, right? But the moon will be then with Pluto, of course. And so it's a combination of transformation and liberation. And that can have to do literally from your Aquarius side with community, with humanity coming together and co-creating. This is the idea with Aquarius, right? And so Sunday is another alignment, not as powerful as a Saturday one, but still I mention it. Jupiter in Gemini will be in sextile with Chiron in Aries. So this is about, Jupiter comes also towards its end in Gemini. It will go into Cancer on June the 9th and has been in Gemini for a year. So we have learned so much. That is Gemini. What have you learned? And how have you branched out, right? Gemini is also diversity, and literally in nature, it's about the plant kingdom is branching out, and also the pollinators hopefully making it and continue to be in our web of life to keep bringing pollen, bringing information from A to B, very Gemini, right? So, what have you learned about all these, connecting the dots, the alchemy of diversity and of differences, even of division, right? All these D's. And Gemini is an alchemist, right? It needs to bring them together, not split them more apart. And and seeing the bigger picture. Jupiter shows us, right, by expanding, by outgrowing sometimes also, like maybe we have outgrown this whole phenomena of division and says, okay, I've been there, I see it, I'm not going into that, I'm going to a happier place, to a more expanded place, more place that is more embracing, which would be then also Cancer coming in, right? And so Jupiter, as I said, on Sunday will be in sextile with Chiron in Aries. So Chiron in Aries has been here for a long time, since 2019, and still till 2026. We're coming to the end of that as well, slowly. And it has shown us a lot about healing, but also about wounds, about the wounds of being in this new world, whatever that means to you, right? Aries again, something new that has brought up a lot of maybe even early wounds, right? When your life started, right? When you were really little, what was that like to be in the new, or in some maybe early trauma, right? Where your parents moved, or parent left, or something like that, right? Where you were on your own is also Aries, right? And so a lot we have learned around that, right? And what brings healing? How can also like heal like in this regard? What do I mean by that? Aries, what is the medicine of Aries? Autonomy and authenticity, right? So Aries is straight up, right? So it is also, it can stand on its own. It's not dependent on relationship. Very self-determined, right? So maybe that was necessary to be more, to stand up for yourself, right? It's also self-assertive. A, right? Triple A, for quadruple Aries, autonomy, authenticity, assertion. So yeah, lots to learn in that regard. Then we have on Monday, the 19th, the Aquarius moon continues having opposition with Mars and so on. So it's not a massively influenced day, but we are moving towards Gemini, right? That's what's going on. And on Tuesday, the last day of these Astro News weather, Astro News week, is Tuesday the 20th, is literally transition day from Taurus to Gemini. The sun will enter Gemini at 11:55 a.m. Nice number for Gemini, two doubles, right? And that will start the season of light, right? So growing towards more light, the height of the light with summer solstice. And also lightness, that is also Gemini. And again, as I said, with Jupiter and Gemini, it's also about alchemy of dualities. And Gemini is a communicator and can be quite crafty in that, right? So that is the mercurial influence. Mercury rules Gemini, while Venus rules Taurus. So the 20th, what's going on before that transition? The sun at the very end of Taurus will be in sextile with Saturn, which I mentioned before, very end of Pisces. and that is also like a real a closure, a wrap in a way, right? So the Saturn in Pisces again, the deeper teachings, the spiritual teachings, maybe literally with the Sun in Taurus. What's with the teachings of the Buddha at this end of an era? This could be something to inquire in this regard. Then, what else is going on this week? Already mentioned, yeah, the moon, these various alignments, and we're at the last phase of Taurus with Virgo undertone. Okay, this is it for today. A client is coming very soon. Keep it a bit shorter and sweet, nevertheless, at 20 minutes today. I wish you a beautiful week until next time, and check in if you'd like to take it deeper and do a private session with me. Always available online, but also in Victoria in person. And I post also a link to my Astro News blog where you can read up the articles for what I've been talking about. Plus, there's a newsletter which you're most welcome to subscribe to. Comes out for every full moon and new moon. It's very comprehensive, brings it all together. I wish you a beautiful week and hope to see you soon. Ciao.